Hello and welcome back to Suburban Hunt 365. I am DJ. We are back in the reloading room again today. And in today's episode, we're going to be taking another look at a muzzleloading projectile. Today, what we have for you on the channel is Harvester muzzleloading. It is a Scorpion PT Gold. It's a 300 grain projectile. And this actually says it is featuring the Crushed Rib Sabots. So we'll kind of get an idea to see how those work in this. Now, we will be running this through our normal pellet test. For those of you that may not know, what we're looking at is we're going to be running a 777 100 and 150 grain, followed by the Pyrex 100 and 150 grain, White Hots 100 and 150 grain. And then the Fire Stars will be using a 3 and a 4 pellet group because it's only 33 grains per pellet. So to get it as close to 100 and 150, we're going to be running 3 pellets, then 4 pellets. And last but certainly not least, we will be running a 2 pellet group of the 777 Magnums, which are a 60 grain pellet. We will be continuing to use the Federal 209A primers during this test. So, I'll also be using my Optima V2 with the Conus 3x9x40 scope that came with it from Walmart. So, all these groups are at 100 yards. So, let's get into it. 777, 100 grains. All right, not too shabby on that. That actually came in at a 3-inch group, but 777 100 grains really hasn't done a whole lot in this series so far, so that's actually a good thing. So 3 inches is what we're starting out with, so not too shabby, not too shabby. Let's go ahead and let's get into the 777 150 grain charge. Let's see how that does. Holy crap! Below 1 inch. That came in at 7/8 of an inch. Almost a 1 inch. I mean, just below 1 inch group. Fantastic showing. Fantastic showing for these harvesters. It's a 300 grain projectile, which the ELDXs are 340 grains. Looking at the chart, or actually we'll check a chart here in a little while, and we'll just kind of look at, but the heavier projectiles seem to do better in my rifle. Now, for those of you, a lot of you guys have been asking, with my Optima, it is a 1 in 28 twist. That may have something to do with it liking the heavier projectiles. I'm not 100% sure on that. But 7/8 of an inch, not bad at all. So let's see if we can keep this going. Pyrex has kind of shown us pretty good results. Let's see what happens with the Pyrex 100 grains. Oh, ouch. Okay, so we went from a 7/8 of an inch group to a 6 3/4 inch group. Ouch. Yeah, I can't say nothing about that. If you're using the harvesters, I will not be running the Pyrex 100 grains because that group is just unacceptable. Which is interesting coming from a 7/8 group to a 6 3/4 inch group. Just wow. Just wow. So, yeah, 777 150 grain is by far the lead with a 7/8 of an inch group. It's going to be really, really hard to beat. So let's see what another 150 grain charge will do. Let's move into the Pyrex 150 grains. Ah, man, guys, I really thought we were fixing to have a tie group with that one. You had that first one hit, that second one hit. The fact that they're on the bullseye just makes it that much more exciting. But then we had that third one jump up, and that ultimately gave us a 2 3/4 inch group, which isn't too bad, right? Not compared to what we've seen. But coming off of a 7/8 and then a 6 3/4, 2 3/4 isn't really, really terrible. So let's go ahead and let's keep moving on. Let's check out the White Hots 100 grains. All right, that one's kind of interesting because of the fact that you had 1, 2, and then 3 came right back on, right next to the first one there. That one ended up being a 2 and 7/8 of an inch group, so just under a 3-inch group there. Which one of the guys made a comment that my gun seems to be a 3-inch group gun. There have been, like you saw earlier, a lot smaller groups with the 7/8 inch group. I think the lowest one we have is a 1/2 inch group out of this particular muzzleloader. But on average, I can kind of see what they're saying. 3 inches is kind of where we're landing on a lot of my shots. So 2 and 7/8, not too shabby, right? Not too shabby. But so far, 150 grains has done a lot better than 100. Let's find out if the white hot 150 grains can follow suit. Oh, very nice. Very nice. This one ended up coming in at 1 1/4 of an inch. But what really has got me excited is the fact, I'm going to play this back again. Watch 1 and 3. So you get 1, 2's right there on the outside of the bullseye, and then 3 lands right on top of this. Look at that. Just absolutely, I mean, just right there. I had to play it back again on my camera just to make sure that I was seeing what I thought, because in the scope, it looked like I couldn't tell where it really was until I got on the spotting scope. So love it, absolutely love it when you got 2 bullets that are right on top of each other like that. So that came in at a 1 1/4 of an inch group. So guys, what I'm seeing so far is with this one, especially, it makes sense because it's a 300 grain projectile, but your 150 grain charges seem to be taking a lead by quite a bit. So with that, let's keep moving on. Let's go to the Firestar 3 pellets and let's see how that does. All right, interesting enough, guys, this is a 2 7/8 of an inch group, which is exactly the same size that we had with the White Hot 100 grain charge. Now we're having with the Firestar 3 pellet charge. So we're definitely seeing a correlation with the little bit bigger groups with the smaller charges. I'm actually anxious to see with another 2 7/8 group what happens when we move up to Firestar 4 pellets. How much better is that group going to be? Let's find out. Oh, not as good of an improvement as I would hope to see, especially when you got a 2 7/8 to start out with. This particular one came in at 2 3/8 of an inch, so we really only dropped down about 1/2 an inch, which makes a big difference. Don't get me wrong. So to go from 7/8 to 3/8, you know, that's 1/2 an inch. So it is an improvement, but 2 3/8. Yeah, that's where that one's at, guys. So I'm just extremely excited about the fact that we got that sub MOA out of the 777 150 grain charge. So we got one more left that we got to check out to see if it can do any better. It has shown us some promise in the past, but unfortunately it's kind of panning for last place right now on our list. So last but certainly not least, let's check out the Magnums 2 pellets. All right, guys, not too shabby for the 777 Magnums. That's really not a terrible group. This one came in at 2.5 inches. So those of you that are, well, you actually see it. For those of you that have been following, you already know. But the chart's fixing to show you exactly what I'm talking about. 2.5 inches is not bad for my rifle with the 777 Magnums. But with all of that, guys, you're going to definitely, hands down, 777, 150 grain charge, 7/8 of an inch is definitely going to take the win for today, which overall means that these harvesters are going to have a pretty decent group. We only had that one that was kind of way out there in left field with a 6 3/4 inch group. The rest of them were sub 3. All right, guys, so let's get into it. Let's get into this chart here. We got the Harvester 300 grain Scorpion PT Golds, the 777 100 grains, 3 inches, 777 150, which is definitely hands down going to be our winner today, is a 7/8 of an inch group. The Pyrodex 100 grains was the abysmal 6 3/4 of an inch. Pyrodex 150s coming in at a 2 3/8 of an inch. white hot 100 grains to 7/8. Pretty good improvement with the white hot 150s with a 1 1/4 inch group. Firestar 3 pellets, 2 7/8. Not much of an improvement with the 4 pellets, but we went to 2 3/8 there. And then last but certainly not least, our 777 Magnum 2 pellets at a 2.5 inch group. That is going to land us at 2.763 of an inch. So 2.763 inches is going to be our average across this one, which is going to land us in 12th place. Now, we're going to zoom down here to the bottom of this, and you'll see that we are right now in 12th place out of 22. So all in all, a pretty good group from the 300 grain Scorpion PT Gold harvesters. All right, guys, if you guys have stuck with us this far, I definitely appreciate you guys hanging with us. We got another projectile in the books, coming in at 12th place. Not bad, not really that bad. Competition is starting to get tighter and tighter with the more of these that we do, because we're going from 2.763, and I believe the one before that was 2.75. So we're in the hundredths of an inch is making a difference between 11th and 12th place, or excuse me, 12th and 11th and 12th place. So guys, if you guys haven't done so already, please do me a huge favor and smash that like button down at the bottom of the video. And while you're down there, hit the subscribe button. It would really help us out a lot. But as always, what I love to see is the comments down below from you guys, letting me know what you guys think about this particular projectile, the test that we're doing, and what tests you want to do. So, from Suburban Hunt 365, I'm DJ. We'll catch you guys on the next one.